Welcome, Japanese woodblock print collectors and enthusiasts. Today, no messing around. We're going to just jump right into this unboxing of woodblock prints I've won at an auction. I haven't seen these prints in person yet, just tiny JPEG images on the auction website. So we'll see what we've got for the first time. I personally curate all of the prints in our online gallery. I try to choose artists I like from the Edo and Meiji eras, like Hokusai, Hiroshige, Kunichika, Yoshitoshi, Kyosai, Kuniyoshi, and a few others. Then, within those artists, there are certain series and genres I gravitate toward. Once I found a print I like, it comes down to quality and price. Of course, I want high-quality prints, but I also don't mind worn prints. After all, they are over 100 years old. So this first one is a print in a frame. I usually don't buy framed prints since it's really hard to tell from a small online photo what the condition is, if it's been glued to a backing, and if it's an original or not. But I took a chance on this one. It's been nicely protected. I'll remove the back. Now let's see how it's attached. Great, just a few pieces of tape. That should be easy to remove. On to print number 2. This is a Tokyo landscape by the artist Kiyochika. This series was done towards the end of his career. It's got a fold down the middle and some small stains, but otherwise it looks like it's in decent condition. Okay, let's cut through these layers of tape and plastic. Tape and plastic is not a good mix in my opinion. This print is from a series I know very well by Kunichika, called 36 Modern Tokyo Restaurants. This is also one of the most beautiful designs in the series. It looks to be in very good condition. Okay, so this is from a great series by Yoshitoshi called Crazy Pictures in Famous Places. It's actually 2 different prints on a single sheet. Many times these are cut into separate prints. The color and the quality look excellent. Let's see what we have next. This print is backed on paper. It's from another Kunichika series I know really well called 36 Good and Evil Beauties. It's one of his most famous series. And we have 34 of the 36 prints in our collection. I love the translucency of the water as it ripples over her kimono. Okay, I can see this is going to be a Baiko print. Also looks like it's in very good condition. Look at the deep blue and the reds and that nice organic brown kimono color. I can already tell this is another one from the Baiko series. The wood grain pattern is fairly prominent in the gray background, plus I love the skull design on the kimono. On the auction site, this package was sold as a group of 5 prints for about $100. And the first one looks like a newspaper insert print. It's worn and you can see the red ink on the left border has bled a bit. Next, this print is from the Baiko series. It looks really nice. The paper is bright white. Here we have a Yoshitoshi print. I'm afraid it's a bit on the shabby side. I can see stains and some tears in it. Oh, look at this. It's a great print, even though it's just one panel from a triptych. She's a demoness holding her severed arm. The back looks great. And the final one in the group is an actor playing in a samurai role. Let's see what's in here. You'll recognize this one. It's another sheet from Yoshitoshi's comic print series. This time it's a single cut print. The color and condition is nice, but not as good as the previous one we saw. And that was it. A decent auction purchase, I think. Now join me as we go through these prints in more detail. Let's start our print review where we started our unboxing, at this framed Hiroshige print. Here's the horrible photo that was on the auction site. This is from Hiroshige's Edo Meisho, or Views of Tokyo series from 1848. I looked it up on the Holy Grail of Hiroshige reference sites, which is hiroshige.net.uk, and they only had 5 of the supposed 30 prints cataloged. So I think this series is hard to come by. The strange thing about this print is it looks like it's been remargined. That means that the border on the print had been cropped off and then new paper added. If we look very closely at the back, I can see that the paper grain is running vertically on the top and bottom strips, while the rest of the sheet runs horizontally. But I don't see any tape or glue or anything joining pieces of paper, so I don't know how this is possible. It looks like one flat sheet. So I'm not sure what I'm seeing. This may require some further investigation. The second print we opened was by the artist Kobayashi Kiyochika. This is called Kinokuni Slope in Akasaka. It's from an untitled series he did of Views of Tokyo. You can see his signature hidden near the bottom of the grassy slope on the right. Kiyochika had a broad variety of artistic styles over his lifetime. His later work developed a painterly style that used light and shade, called kosen-ga. It was inspired by Western art techniques. This print has a fold down the middle, and it's got some dirt on it, but you can see how modern and realistic it looks compared to a lot of the more traditional prints we see. I might start to collect more of his prints when I can find them. The next print is from one of my favorite series by Kunichika, 36 Famous Modern Restaurants. It's one of the most beautiful scenes from the series. It depicts a couple who have just got off the ferry. They are walking through the snow to the Yaomatsu restaurant in the background. Here's a vintage photo of the actual restaurant back in the day. I just love the composition of this print and the simple color palette that really evokes the feeling of winter. I already have a copy of this print, and it's currently at our restaurant print show at the Hilbert Museum in California. Here's a quick pan of the exhibit. The show runs until September 27th. In any case, since we already have a copy, we'll probably be selling this one. Next, we have a pair of uncut prints by artist Tsukioka Yoshitoshi from his 1881 series, Comic Pictures of Famous Places in Tokyo. This is a great series to collect since Yoshitoshi is such a versatile artist, and these scenes allow him to not only demonstrate his skill at drawing the human figure in all types of poses, but he can also have some fun depicting real events and legendary figures in the same print. The print at the top is called An Unwelcome Hug, where we see a lady doing her makeup in the back room, while in the front hallway a man is being grabbed by an aggressive woman who is probably trying to pull him into her shop. In the bottom print, we see the annual festival in Asakusa, where the giant red guardian king has come to life and joined the crowd of festival goers. These prints were produced in full oban size like this, with 2 prints per sheet, and then also they were cut into separate single prints. It's more common to find them cut apart. This next print of the woman pulling herself out of the water is also from one of my favorite Kunichika series, 36 Good and Evil Beauties. The series is considered one of his best, and it depicts famous women from throughout history that are considered to be good or evil in some way. This woman is Koman, the heroine, who is holding the Minamoto banner rolled up in her teeth. She was trying to protect the banner from falling into the hands of their sworn enemies, the Taira clan. So she jumped into Lake Biwa to avoid being captured. Unfortunately, she was spotted in the water and picked up by a barge carrying the leader of their enemy. Although I've also seen accounts where she managed to save the banner from the enemy, so I guess the outcome depends on the version of the story you hear. There's some insect damage on the left border and tight cropping on the bottom, but otherwise the color and impression look really nice. The next print we saw came from that package of 5 prints. It's a newspaper insert print by the artist Yoshiiku that was published in a Tokyo newspaper in 1888. The person pictured may be kabuki actor Nakamura Fukusuke, and he's retelling a story by a poet-monk named Saigyo, who wrote a lot about Mount Fuji. This piece involves some women that Saigyo probably encountered during his travels. The next print in that group was by Yoshitoshi from his 1888 series called Collection of Desires. In this case, she's wanting to be massaged. This was a very popular series with the theme of hopes and passions of women. There were 2 editions. The first edition has a 3-color cartouche, like this one in the upper left. The second edition has a gray cartouche and a plain background. Unfortunately, this print is not in good condition. If it were in very good condition, it would sell for $400 or more. This one, maybe $100. We'll see. Moving on. This is a single panel from an awesome triptych by Kunichika titled Watanabe no Tsuna and Demoness Ibaraki, Retrieving Her Arm. The Demoness Ibaraki is played by the kabuki actor Onoe Kikugoro. Here is the complete print. According to the story, a beautiful woman met Watanabe no Tsuna and requested that he escort her to her destination. But suddenly she transformed into a demon and grabbed him by the hair, so he cut off his arm, her arm, with his sword. And he kept her arm in a box. But later, the demoness comes back in disguise to retrieve it. In this print, she's grabbed her arm and is flying away. This was a popular play, and there are several versions of this print. I have this version in my collection, and I've also seen this version with the eagle on the right panel. It's a great story, and this print is in fantastic condition. Plus, it's even got the demon carrying away her severed arm. So maybe someone will be interested in it, even though it's incomplete. Also in that package was this orphaned panel from a triptych. It's by the artist Kunichika, a kabuki actor playing a samurai. It's not of very much value. It'll probably go in the gallery shop at about $20. Okay, now let's talk about all the Baiko prints. There were 3 from this series in the box. These are from Kunichika's series of 100 prints of the famous kabuki actor Onoe Kikugoro V. His nickname was Baiko. Each print shows the actor in a different role. I'm trying to collect the whole series of 100 prints. This first print on the very left is one I didn't have yet. It's Baiko as the fireman Umekichi. This fireman is the leader of the group that fought with the sumo wrestlers in that famous Megumi no Kenka incident in 1805 near the Shiba Shinmei Shrine. Note the long-handled pick he's holding that firemen use to break up burning buildings. The print in the middle is Baiko as Tsuneyo, and in the inset, Ichikawa Danjuro IX as Hojo Tokiyori. The kabuki play that this is from is called Hachi no Ki, or the Potted Trees. The story of this play is that in the year 1383, the supreme governor to the shogun, Tokiyori, retired to live as a Buddhist monk, and that's him in the upper right box. After some years, he returned to Japan to see how ordinary people lived, and one cold winter night, he came across a hut. Inside was a man named Tsuneyo. He didn't recognize the shogun's governor dressed as a monk, but he offered to burn his last 3 precious bonsai trees to keep the monk warm. Later, when the shogun assembled an army, Tsuneyo volunteered. In recognition of his loyalty and sacrifice, Tokiyori gave him 3 provinces, naming them Ume, plum, Sakura, cherry, and Matsu, pine, after Tsuneyo's bonsai trees. The last Baiko print is Baiko playing Noriyuki Teranishi. He's supposed to be an heroic commoner, probably a bandit of some sort. I think that's why his kimono looks a bit ragged. As I mentioned before, I really like seeing the wood grain pattern in the gray background and the skull design on his kimono. We already have a copy of this print. If I look in our Baiko collection, we'll find it. Here it is. It looks pretty much the same, except the borders are better on the newer one. Anyway, this is a great series to collect. Such a variety of roles and designs. I can't wait to get all 100. And our final print was from Yoshitoshi's Crazy Pictures of Famous Places in Tokyo. This one has been cut into a single print from an original sheet of 2 designs. The print shows a woman tumbling down the arched bridge at Temmangu Shrine in Kameido. I think that falling on steep bridges was a thing in old Edo. Several comic artists used similar themes in their comic prints, such as this one by Hiroshige III. And it's the same bridge. All right, that brings us to the end of this unboxing. I hope you've enjoyed learning about these prints with me. Please like and subscribe, and as always, happy collecting.